Good morning to all of you. Government Degree College, Shantinagar, Jogulamba, Gadwal District, Department of Mathematics. Name of the lecturer P. Raghavendra. Now, today we are going to discuss in algebra the definition of centralize of a in G and cyclic group definition, Euler's function, theorems on cyclic group. Once again, in algebra topic we are going to discuss definition of centralizer of A in G and cyclic group definition, Euler's function, theorems on cyclic group. Now, definition of centralizer of A in G. Let A be a fixed element. Here A is a fixed element of a group G. The centralizer of A in G is C of A is the set of all elements in G that commute with A. Means here A be the fixed element. Here A be the fixed element in group G. Then the condition must be satisfied. The condition must be the set of all elements G that commute with A. Means here A is fixed element and X is the any element in group G. Then the condition means commutate means Ax is equal to Xa. Condition must be satisfied. Then this is called a centralizer of A in G. Once again, this is the definition. C of A means centralizer of A in G, that is equal to set all X belongs to G such that Ax is equal to Xa subset are equal to G. Then C of A is called the centralizer of A in G. Here A be the fixed element in group G. X be the any element. X be the any element means here X must be elements of X must be all the set of all elements of G that must equal to Ax is equal to Xa. Then we say that this A is a centralizer of A in G. Now here one example is given. Okay. In D power 4 means dihedral group. Here dihedral group D4 is equal to rotation 0, rotation 90, rotation 180, rotation 270. Here horizontal reflection, vertical reflection, diagonal reflection and another diagonal reflection. Here D4 dihedral group, here 8 elements is given. Rotation 90, rotation 0, rotation 180, rotation 270, horizontal reflection, vertical reflection, this one horizontal reflection, vertical reflection, diagonal reflection and another diagonal reflection. Here C of R0 means here rotation 0 is fixed. Here rotation 0 is fixed. By rotation 0 is fixed, this X be the any element in the D4 means if X is the if X must be X is R0, R90, R180, R270, H, V, D dash means here X be the any element. Here X be the any element in the D power 4, that is R0, R90, R180, R270, H, V, D dash. Then here R0 is fixed by multiplying X R0 into R0 into R0. If we take here X is R0, if X is R0 and X is R90, then the condition this one Ax into Xa means here A is what is A given R0 into the condition Ax is equal to Xa. Here A is fixed means R90 R0. Here X is taken, X is taken this one R90 and R90 is equal to R0. This one, if R0 into R90 is equal to R90 into R0 value must be equal, then we get the some values. The values is D4. Means by multiplying, if X is R90, X is R180, X is R270, X is H, V, D dash. The by multiplying we get the elements. And if we take R0 we get R0, R90. By multiplying R0 into R90, R0 into 180, R0 into 270, rotation 0 into H, rotation 0 into V, rotation D into rotation 0 into D, rotation 0 into D dash, then we get the same elements, that is rotation 0, rotation 90, rotation 180, rotation 270, H, V, D dash. Therefore by multiplying x values, variating x values, taking R0, R90, R180, 270, H, V, D dash, then we get the values are D power D4 values. That means dihedral group values. Then we say that is equal to C of R0 is equal to D power D4. Means C of R0 value is dihedral group. If we take R180, C of R180, if R180 is fixed, X must be taken in the D power 4 elements. Means X value must be taken in the D power 4 set, D4 set. D4 set means dihedral group set. If multiply R0 into R180, R0 into R180 is fixed. If we take X, R0 into R180, that is equal to R180 into R0, then we get to R180 means that is equal. Therefore R0 value exists in the C of R0, C of 180 value. Means I will explain once again. Here what is given, C of R180 is taken. Means this is A value fixed, means this one, X into R180 is equal to R180 into X. If we take X is equal to R0, rotation 0, then we have to follow this principle. Here X is R0 into R180. By multiplying R0 into R180 we get to R180. Then this one R180 into R0 we get to R180. Here the values of R0 into R180 and R180 into R0 value we get to R180 means rotation 180 degrees. Therefore R0 into 180 value is R180 and R180 into R0 value is R180. Therefore in C of R in this set, C of R180 set, we will get to R0 value. Why? Because of R0 value means R0 into 180 and 180 into R0 value is 10 value is equal. Means here commutative property is satisfying. Therefore the multiplying x value, here x is taken R0 into R180 and R180 into R0 value must be equal. Therefore R0 value is exist in C of R180. Similarly in R0 value, next we take R90, then we multiply R90 into R180 value and R180 value into R90 value. Same value must be equal. R rotation 90 into rotation 180 is equal to rotation 180 into rotation 90. Therefore R90 value also exists in the C of R180. Like this, if variating the x values R0, R90, R180, R270, we get the values of dihedral group, here D4. Then take C of R rotation 90. Here C of R A is a fixed, here R90 is fixed, and x must be variate. The values x must be R rotation 0, rotation 90, rotation 180, rotation 270, horizontal reflection, vertical reflection, diagonal reflection, and another diagonal reflection. If we multiplying, we get the values. That values are R0, R rotation 0, rotation 90, rotation 180, rotation 270. Means if we take x values, R0 into R90 into R0 value must be equal. Here R90 into R rotation 90 into rotation 90 is equal to rotation 90 into rotation value must be equal. And R180 rotation 180 into rotation 90 value, and rotation 90 value into rotation 180 value must be equal. Here similarly rotation 270 value, rotation 270 into rotation 90 value, rotation 90 into rotation 270 value must be equal. If R90 is fixed, if we take x is equal to h, if I take x is equal to h, if we take x is equal to h means h into R90 is equal to R90 into h. These values are not equal. Therefore h does not belongs to C of R90. Means h into rotation 90 not equal R90 into h. Because of this one, because of not satisfying this condition, h does not belongs to the C of R0. Therefore only rotation 90, rotation 0, rotation 180, rotation 270 values are equal. Then the values are included in the C of R90. Then another one, if we take R270 means the values x belongs to d4 such that x into 270, R270 is equal to 270 into x. Then we get the similar values. These values into the R270 values. Means here the R270 values, here C of R270 values we get to. The values are R rotation 0, rotation 90, rotation 180, rotation 270. Then C of h means horizontal reflection. Here C of h means in C of h we get the elements that are rotation 0, h, R180, v, that is equal to C of v. Similarly we get C of d. C of d means d be the diagonal reflection. If we take diagonal reflection means d into here x into d is equal to d into x. If we take r is equal to x, then we get r naught into d, that is equal to d into r naught, that is equal. So that r naught belongs to C of d. If R90, if we take this one x into this one, x into d is equal to d into x. If we take R90, if x R90 into d value and d into R90 value not equal, therefore R90 value does not belongs to C of d. R90 into d not equal to d into R90 value, means here commutative property is not satisfying. Therefore R90 value does not belongs to C of d. Here R0 rotation 0, rotation 180, d value, diagonal rotation, diagonal reflection, and another diagonal reflection is satisfying. Therefore these are the elements which are belongs to centralize of d. Here the theorem is given. The theorem says C of A is a subgroup. For each A in group G, the centralize of A is a subgroup of G. Here we have to show that centralizer of a group. Here C of A is given. C of A is, you have to show that C of A is means, what is C of A? Centralize this one. Centralizer of A in G. We have to show that here G be the group and centralized of A in G is a group. Once again I am explaining in theorem. The theorem is given here G is a group, here G is a group. What we have to show that centralized A of in G is a subgroup of G, means we have to show that G is group. C of A is centralized A centralized of A in G. Here C of A means centralized of A in G. This must be C of A must be subgroup of G, means C of A we have to show that C of A is a subgroup of G. For this condition I am taking here C of A is the set is given. C of A is equal to set all x belongs to G such that Ax is equal to XA subset are equal to G, means C of A is a subset of G, means C of A contains some of the elements in group G. Here we have to show that C of A is a subgroup of G. For that I am taking, since A here I am taking A is a fixed, I am taking E be the any element in the G. A into E is equal to E into A. This one. A into A is equal to E into A. Here this condition is satisfied. A into E is equal to we get E, and E into A we get A. Means here A is equal. Therefore E belongs to C of A. Means then we conclude that C of A not equal to pi, means C of A centralized of A in G is contained some elements. Then I am taking x comma y belongs to C of A. Here x belongs to C of A centralized group set and y belongs to centralized group set. If any elements belongs to centralized group set, the condition must be satisfied. If x belongs to centralized group set, then condition is Ax is equal to Xa. Here x comma y belongs to C of A, then we get the condition x belongs to C of A and y belongs to C of A. The condition is must be satisfied for the centralized of A in G, that is Xa into Ax. Here Xa into Ax is the condition commutative property, and Ya is equal to Ay. This is also commutative property. Then we have to show that here x comma y belongs to Ca. We have to show that if x comma y belongs to Ca, then we have to show that x into y belongs to C of A. For that condition I have to show that this condition xy into A is equal to A into xy. If x belongs to Ca and y belongs to Ca, then we have to show that x into y belongs to Ca. If x into y belongs to Ca, then we have to show the condition xy into A is equal to A into x. For this condition I am taking this one, xy into A is equal to this one, x into y. Here I am taking by associate property x into y. Here x into y. Here this one. Here ya is equal to ay. By we have the y belongs to C of A centralized of A in G. We have the ya is equal to ay. Then we can substitute this ya value. We get to ay value, x into ay. Then this one I am taking this one by associate property xay, that is equal to xa into y. Here xa value we get to ax value, this one ax into y, that is equal to a into xy. If xy is equal to a, xy is equal to xy into a is equal to we get to a into xy. This one xy into a is equal to a into xy. Therefore by this condition we can conclude that xy belongs to C of A. Now another one condition. If we have to show that x inverse belongs to C of A. If this condition we have to show that x inverse belongs to C of A. If x inverse belongs to C of A, the condition must be A into x inverse is equal to x inverse into A. We have to show that this condition. If x inverse belongs to C of A, if x inverse belongs to C of A, the condition must be A into x inverse is equal to x inverse into A. For this I am taking x belongs to this one condition. I have to show that x inverse belongs to C of A. For that I am taking x belongs to C of A. By doing simplification, I can show that x inverse belongs to C of A. If x belongs to C of A, we can write xa is equal to ax. Then this one here, for this condition I am multiplying x inverse for this one. For this one, I am multiplying x inverse left hand side, right hand side, and both sides of the above equation. We get x inverse into xa, x inverse is equal to x inverse into ax into x inverse. By associative property, we get x inverse into x, and ax inverse is equal to x inverse a, x into x inverse. By this we can conclude that x inverse x value we get e value, or here this also this one x into x inverse also we get e value. E into ax inverse is equal to x inverse a into e. By multiplication e we get a into x inverse is equal to x inverse a. Therefore we can conclude that the condition a into x inverse is equal to x inverse into a. Therefore we can conclude that x inverse belongs to C of A. Here two conditions is satisfying, means x comma y belongs to C of A, means xy belongs to here I am taken x comma y belongs to C of A. Then we can conclude that xy belongs to C of A, and here x belongs to C of A. Then here we conclude that x inverse belongs to C of A. Here last classes we discussed if a comma b belongs to H, then we show that AB belongs to H. If A belongs to H and A inverse also belongs to H, by two conditions we can conclude that H is a subgroup of G. Similarly here x comma y belongs to C of A, then we get xy belongs to C of A. Here x belongs to C of A and x inverse belongs to C of A. Here C of A is satisfying two condition. X comma y belongs to C of A, x comma y belongs to C of A implies xy belongs to C of A, and x belongs to C of A and x inverse also belongs to C of A, means here C of A is satisfying two conditions. Therefore we can conclude that C of A is a subgroup of G. Now note for a group G, ZG is subset or equal to C of A. Here C of A means centralizer of A in G. Here ZG, here C of A means centralizer of A in G. Here the condition ZG is subset or equal to C of A. Here C of A means centralizer of A in G. ZG means center of a group G. Means center of a group G is subset or equal to centralizer of A in G. Okay. Now another condition. Condition 1, condition 2. Here if G is abelian, then we can show that ZG is equal to C of A. ZG means center of a group G. ZG means center of a group G. Center of a group G is equal to centralizer of A in G. Now another problem. Now let G be a group. And let A belongs to G. Prove that C of A is equal to C of A inverse. Here C of A is a centralizer of A in G. This is a subgroup of G. The condition must be how to show that is C of A centralizer of A is equal to centralizer of A inverse. We have to show that C of A is equal to C of A inverse, means if we take C of A value, the values must be equal to the C of A inverse. Therefore we have to show that C of A is equal to C of A inverse. Means I am taking one of the element belongs to C of A. Similarly the element which is taken in C of A, that is also belongs to C of A inverse. Similarly, once again I am showing, if any element, for example x belongs to C of A inverse, by doing process we can conclude that x also belongs to C of A. Then we can conclude that if x belongs to C of A, that same x also belongs to C of A inverse. Same, if x belongs to C of A inverse, then by doing the process, that x also belongs to C of A. By this we can conclude that C of A is equal to C of A inverse. By seeing this, let x belongs to C of A, means here x is the any element in the centralizer of A in G. By the definition we get xa is equal to ax. Xa is equal to x. For this I am multiplying A inverse left hand side, right hand side, and both side we get A inverse into, if and only if I am taking condition, if and only if A inverse xa, A inverse is equal to A inverse xa into A inverse. By we have the associative property, means A inverse into x into A inverse, that is equal to A inverse into A into xa inverse. Here A into A inverse we get E identity, and similarly this value is equal to A, and this value is equal to E, and we can conclude that A inverse x into E is equal to E into x into A inverse. Here multiplying A inverse x into E, we get A inverse into x, and E into xa inverse we get E into xa inverse we get xa inverse. Then we can conclude that here A inverse x is equal to x into A inverse. Therefore here x be the element which is belongs to C of A inverse. Here I am taken x belongs to C of A, that same x value belongs to C of A inverse. Similarly if we take x belongs to C of A inverse, then we can show that x belongs to C of A. By this we can conclude that C of A is equal to C of A inverse. If and only if condition, if we come like this one, and similarly we have to go upward and downward, we can conclude that C of A is equal to C of A inverse, means the centralizer of A elements are equal to the centralized A inverse elements. We can conclude that C of A is equal to C of A inverse. Here definition, cyclic group. Previous classes we have studied cyclic subgroup. Cyclic subgroups. Here I am going to study only cyclic group. Last class we discussed that is cyclic subgroup. Here cyclic group means, okay, now the definition of cyclic group. A group G is called cyclic. If there is an element A in G such that G is equal to set of all A inverse such that N belongs to Z, such an element A is called the generator of G, then G is equal to generator A. Here G is a group. That group must be generated by a element. The element is A. If A generates the set of G, then we can call the set G. Then we can call the group set G is called the cyclic group. Once again I am saying, if G is a group means G contains some of the elements. If any elements in a group G, by this condition, G is equal to A power N such that N belongs to Z, means if G contains some of the elements, if any elements in G, by taking this condition A power N such that N belongs to Z, means the A must be generate the elements of the group G. The A generates the elements of group G. Then we can say that G is a cyclic group. Here some examples is given. The examples are this one. The set of integers z under ordinary addition is cyclic group with both 1 and minus 1 being generators. Here z is given. Here z is a integer set. Here z means the integer set. The z is contain the elements that are 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 plus or minus 3 dash dash dash. I am taking the 1 minus 1. I am taking the elements 1 and minus 1. Here 1 and minus 1 elements are generated. Here 1 and minus 1 are the generators of the integer set. Here I am taking z is equal to generator 1, that is equal to set of all 1 power n such that n belongs to z, that is equal to, here I am taking addition, means so I have to multiply n into 1, not taking n 1 power n. I am in multiplication I have to do 1 power n. In addition I have to do n into 1. Once again, in multiplication I have to take 1 power n. In addition I have to take n into 1. For here given is addition, therefore I am taking n into 1. Here n be the any elements, n be the any elements in the z. Here 1 be the fixed element. Here if n belongs to z, means if you take n is equal to 0, we get 0. N is equal to 1, we get 1. N is equal to minus 1 by multiplying n into 1, means if n is taking 1 0 2 3 minus 4 minus 6, by multiplying with 1 we get the integer set. Therefore we can conclude that 1 is the generator. The 1 is generating the integer set. Therefore we can conclude that z is a cyclic group. Similarly minus 1 also generating the whole integer set. Minus 1 also generating the whole integer set. This one, z into generator minus 1 is equal to set of all minus 1 power n such that n belongs to z, that is equal to n into minus 1 such that n belongs to z, means minus 1 is generating the integer set. Then we can conclude that here 1 and minus 1 be the generators of the z. Then we can say that z be the cyclic group. Now another example, this one. The set here zn is taken. The set zn is equal to set of all the elements are 0 1 2 3 dash 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 n minus 1 for n greater than or equal to 1 is a cyclic group under the addition modulo n. Here zn is given. If n must be taken greater than or equal to 1 is a cyclic group under the addition modulo n. For this we have to find the generators. Here where zn is equal to 1, generator 1, and zn is equal to generator n minus 1. Here 1 and n minus 1 be the generators of the zn group. Therefore we can conclude that zn is a cyclic group. For this zn we have the generator of 1 and generator n minus 1. For the condition must be addition modulo n. For addition modulo n, the zn have a generators, that is zn is equal to generator 1, zn is equal to generator n minus 1. Now another example, z8 means here the elements are 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Addition modulo 8 has the generators. Here up to in z8 the number of elements are 8, then the generators are 1 3 5 7. Here 1 3 5 7. If generator 1, here addition modulo 8 means I will take this one. I will show taking generator 1 the values, how we will get the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 0. Okay, I will show. If we have the generator 1 value, in addition 1 plus 0 we get to 1, and 1 plus 1 we get 2, and 1 plus 3 we get 1 plus 2 we get 3, and here addition modulo must be taken. 1 addition modulo 1 plus 1 addition modulo 8 into 2, 8 into 2 we get 3. Similarly 1 addition modulo 8, 4 is equal to 5. Similarly we have to show the like this, and we get last 1 plus 7 addition modulo. 1 plus 7 means 8. If 8 is divided by 8 we get the 0. Therefore the values 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 0. These are the generator of the 1 elements. Here if we take generator 1, the elements by generator 1 values are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 0. Similarly if we take 3, if we take generator 3 we get to 3 plus addition modulo 0 we get 3. 3 addition modulo 8 plus 1 we get 4. Similarly 3 addition modulo 2 we get 5. Like this 3 4 5 7, like this we get the generator of 3 values. Generator of 3 values are 3 6 1 4 7 2 7 2 5 0. Similarly generator of 5 value, similarly generator of 7 value. Means if generator of 1, generator of 2, generator of 3, generator of 5, generator of 7 values are which are equal to Z8, then we can conclude that Z8 is a cyclic group, and the generators of the cyclic groups are 1 3 5 7. Note, for the group Zn of integer, for group Zn of integer modulo n any k with 0 less than or equal to k less than n, and if GCD of k comma n is equal to 1 is a generator of A. Means here if we take like this, if we take here Zn is a group, and here integer modulo n, if k be the any element that is 0 less than or equal to 0 less than n. Means if n is taken, if k comma n value, means if GCD of k comma n value then we get is equal to 1, then we can say that k be the generator of the given group. Here okay if for this node I am, if here 8 be the this one modulo n, here 8 be the modulo n. If we take 0 comma 8, GCD is 1 not 1. If 1 comma 8, if GCD is 1, and 2 comma 8, for 2 comma 8 GCD is 2 or 1. If 2 comma 8 GCD is 2, therefore which is not equal to 1, therefore 2 is not a generator. Once again I will say, here 8 is fixed is equal to 1, we have to get. Here I am taking elements 0 comma 8, 0 comma, here GCD of 0 comma 8 not equal to 1, means not equal to 1, therefore 0 is not a generator. Once again another 1 comma 8, for 1 comma 8 GCD value is 1, therefore 1 is a generator. And 2 comma 8, for 2 comma 8 the GCD value is 2, this 2 is not equal to this 2 is not equal to 1, therefore this is not a generator. If we get the GCD value of k comma n is equal to 1, we can conclude that k be the generator of the given group. Implies that any positive integer k less than n relatively prime to n is a generator of Zn. Means if k comma n the GCD value must be 1, means the k and n the relatively prime to n, which is a generator of the given group. Thanks.